when we hear the term longevity, we think about, okay, how long can we live? Right. How long did our grandparents live? And it's more about the number and not necessarily the quality of life that someone has. From my perspective and the way I practice, when I think about longevity, I think about how long someone lives, and I think about how well they live during that time. And there are a lot of factors that impact that. We talk about, plant predominant eating, exercise, managing stress, positive social interactions. All of those things impact how well we live and how long we live well. Right. So that's what I think of. And for those, the colleagues I have in this circle, they share the same viewpoint. So patients who are interested in that and really grasp that concept, they want that information. They want that support. So for them, longevity is, by definition, just that. And they want the things to be put in place that will help them to get there.
Absolutely. And, that leads me to think about a time when I remember while I was working towards a doctor of public health, we took this class called Biological Basis of Public Health. And in that course, we learned just about every disease that you could think about. And so some of us felt like we were more, going back to, okay, let's go back to anatomy, let's go back to our first year in medical school. But the doctor was like, no, we're going to look at the biological basis of public health. And as I think about it, a lot of those case studies that we looked at were about people living longer, but living sicker. And so we had to then look at, what would we do if we had, for instance, a 47-year-old man who had high blood pressure and obesity, and almost predict, what was going to happen to him. And there was a study that we came across that actually, and this is more than 20 years ago, this study actually talked about the fact that in this new era at that time, in the early 2000s, the concern in the medical field was that children would not outlive their parents because there was so much chronic disease. So longevity was almost, there was a mismatch between what we considered longevity and what was actually happening on the ground, if you will. And I feel like that is still the case today. What is your thought?
That is true. I agree with that. Far too often we're seeing cases or scenarios where we have children dying before their parents, and it stems in the majority of the cases from the lifestyle choices that are made.
Thank you for checking us out at the Hibiscus Tea Cafe. Don't forget to follow and like us, and make sure that you share this information with someone else. I am sure there's someone who can use this information. And until next time, enjoy the tea.